here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight. Cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? It used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Baby, now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me.
Hey, hey, mm, 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 mm. 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danielle Show. I am Danielle, aka Danea, and I got a lot to say. So let's get into it. And before I get into it, guys, I know I am up here a little late, but a lot was happening. A lot was going on, but I'm here now. So again, let's get into it. So what the heck is going on with Kanye West? Is he crazy? Is he not crazy? Who knows? We're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. So if you have been living under a rock, I'm here to let you know what's been happening. So Kanye West recently put out really controversial tweets back to back on X, formerly known as Twitter, and it has people in an uproar. It's so crazy how mad so many people are at this, and people like myself and my boyfriend are just like, we live in Los Angeles. We see craziness all the time. We hear craziness all the time. So we just brush it off. And again, we're just like, so many things happen behind the scenes that people don't know about that we see in real time. So it's like, again, it doesn't faze us the way it phases a lot of people. But anyway, so Kanye West put out these really controversial tweets on February 9th. I think that was a Sunday. And yeah, these tweets were about Diddy, they were about Drake, they were about Dave Chappelle, even Kendrick Lamar, and his wife, and a few other people, but those were like the main people. And then he also mentioned Jews, but you know, as a general, no specific Jew I think was mentioned. If they were, I wasn't familiar with who they were. But yeah, people were mostly outraged by the Jewish comments because they considered them anti-Semitic. We'll get into that. And also when he mentioned a tweet about him hitting his wife. He put that in a tweet, so people were outraged about that. And then also, lastly, this wasn't a tweet. I don't know if this was a tweet or just something he put on Instagram. Some pornographic content was put out. I couldn't find the video because Kanye West actually got his account deactivated on X. Elon Musk was like, enough is enough. Elon Musk is used to be like a major fan of Kanye, I think, or, you know, they used to be very cordial, super cool. So, and then typically he lets him say what he wants to say on X, but he drew the line at the pornographic content, and which is really interesting for a lot of people because, again, people thought, you know, he said way worse things, and the fact that porn is already a thing on Twitter, on X, pardon me. So yeah, why ban him for that? Yes, you should have banned him for everything else he said on X, even though he didn't, you know, cross the guidelines. He didn't violate any guidelines on X, actually, like legally. So again, all up for debate. People have been debating this for a while, so I was like, oh, I wanted to hop on this train, even though I didn't really care that much, but a lot of people do, so we're going to talk about it. But again, he got banned on X. So it was hard for me to find all the content, the video. I didn't find the video all, but it was hard for me to find the tweets. But after some digging, I found someone who actually posted all the tweets that Kanye West posted, a guy named Sneeko. He is a very known content creator, and my boyfriend likes him. He put this link called yeezy-tweets.com. And it shows all his tweets, even older tweets for past February 9th, before February 9th, pardon me. So I'm going to read a few for you guys and give you guys my opinion, on some of them. So here's the first one he made on February 9th at 1:43 a.m. He says, everybody know Dave Chappelle never truly came back after the Cat Williams interview. Now, I don't know about that. I don't know, but it's so crazy. I just recently did an episode on Dave Chappelle speaking on a stand-up he just recently did that I think it was on Netflix, that I thought was very interesting about, you know, all the LA fires happening in the world and throwing a little bit of politics in there. I thought it was very good. I thought it was better than, I guess, well, I didn't think it was that good, but I thought it was better than, you know, a lot of other comedians out here that try to put content out. So yeah, but interesting enough, I never really thought he fell off. I just thought, you know, he took a break, you know, for doing stand-up comedy. But now that I read this tweet from Ye, and I'm just like, oh, did he fall off? Did his career start a downfall after that Cat Williams interview? You know, that Cat Williams interview that was so famous at the beginning of last year, 2024, that he started name dropping and saying stuff was going to happen, and a lot of it did happen, and people were like, oh, snap. You know, I don't know if Dave Chappelle was mentioned in that, but so much stuff was mentioned in that, but it's interesting for him to say that because now I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh, like I wasn't a big Dave Chappelle stan when he, I guess, started out, when he was more known, so I don't know how big of a downfall, you know, he's claiming he had, but I do realize, like, he's not as, you know, he's respected, obviously, and a lot of people like him, but, you know, after that special came out, like, I only saw, like, a few people posting it. It was, like, a thing for a little while, like, a couple of days, and then everybody forgot about it. And, yeah, no one was really talking about it like they were, like, the Cat Williams interview. So maybe he did fall off. I don't know. So that's one thing I was like, he might be right, he might be not wrong. I don't know enough about it. But anyway, that's not even the peak of these tweets, the most controversial stuff, right? There's a whole lot more. So here we go. The next one says, the Jews claim to be so oppressed, then they try to oppress me and Elon's freedom of speech. That's true. It's so funny. Like, sometimes Kanye, I think, generalizes and makes and throws like all white people in there. When he says Jews, like if you're white, it's equated to Jews. I don't know if that's the case, but it just seems like that the way he comes for them so hard in all these tweets. But anyway, continuing on. This one's not that important. He says, I'd like to thank the Jews for porn, and I'm not being sarcastic. I love porn a lot. Again, it's so funny. It seems like he's generalizing like all white people as Jews, but I don't know. Maybe Jews do run porn, but it's funny. I just looked up the owner of specifically Pornhub, and it's a bunch of Canadian people. So I don't know, but that's funny. Again, that kind of goes to my point. So there's that tweet. He said Elon was legally forced to buy Twitter for $44 billion, and it was taken to $9 billion because the Jewish mob forced various advertisers to pull out. Damn, those advertisers pull out. Game was stronger than mine on tour. Oh, that's actually funny. Now, it's so, like, people think a lot of Kanye's tweets are so far-fetched, but it's like, again, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. This could very well be true. It could be all BS. We don't know for sure. But, a lot of his tweets aren't as far-fetched as people think it is. It could very well be true. We know, Elon obviously bought Twitter. So there's that. But people get you every time. They'll throw a little truth in there with a lie and then make it seem like it's the whole truth because they threw a little lies in there and they don't expect you to do your research or, to not believe the lie, because the truth's thrown in there. So it's very hard to dissect a lot of these things. But again, it's all speculation. We don't know if for sure, all these things are true. But anyways, that's one tweet. Speaking about J-Lo's, anyway, he posted a baddest over and over again, and he's talking about his wife. If you didn't see this, you also had to be living under a rock to not see Kanye West go to the Grammys with his wife, and she wore a sheer dress. She might as well have showed up naked. He would say she did, because literally everything was out, nipples and everything. So he posted baddest B ever again 1, 2, 3, 4 times on Twitter. And kept on posting, talking about my baby made it to my favorite website. I think he also said she was the most searched person on Google. He posted a threat that someone threatened about killing his kids. Oof, I don't want to click on that. We'll go past that. That's probably a whole nother thing I want to get into his other tweets though. People want leaders, even in their own, Oh, okay. So now he gets into talking about Diddy, guys. He says, I wish I had the relationship with my dad that Puff has with his kids. Now, people were outraged with this one tweet because, Diddy is locked up right now for committing a whole bunch of crimes. But again, I'm like, you got to just read the post for what it is. He said he wished he had the relationship with his kids. He's not glorifying or accepting, admiring his actions that got him arrested. He's admiring his actions that he does as a father, and saying he wants to be like him when it comes to his father skills. Two things can be true at once. Like, he may think he's locked up and he's locked up, and what he did to get locked up was wrong, but he also may think, he's a great dad. He doesn't, just because someone commits crimes doesn't discredit the good in them. Okay, so there's that. Again, people were so outraged thinking he was, saying it's okay, for the things he did. I'm like, no, that's not what he said at all. Don't put words in his mouth, guys. So there's that. He said Puff is a way better dad than my dad and way better dad than me. Again, saying the same thing. He reiterates his slavery is a choice message with saying, and that is why I'm willing to die for my tweets. Slavery is a choice, even if y'all the Jews send my own people at me. Yeah, y'all remember that crazy? Well, a lot of people were mad and called him crazy when he said slavery is a choice. That was years ago, I think. I don't know what year that was, but it had people in an uproar. And I think what he meant, I don't know if he clarified that tweet, but what I got from it, instead of, being immediately offended, that, if you look at our history, a lot of Africans were selling other Africans to colonizers, white people, for slavery. So when he says slavery is a choice, it was a choice amongst us because we were the ones that were we were sending our own people over to be slaves in America. So I think that was more the context where that was at. And that actually is logical if you know your history. But again, people are emotional. They reacted immediately to that. Seeing that made them feel some type of way. So they were upset. Anyway, moving on, more tweets. One says, trans people need to tell men they are trans before they engage in anything romantic or sexual. Now, that is absolutely a fact. That has no reason for debate. That is absolutely true. Nobody was outraged about that. I didn't see anybody outraged about that. Like, you're playing with fire. If you're a trans woman, trans man even, but more so trans women, and you're entertaining a guy who is straight, and don't tell him that you're born a male, that's messed up behavior. It's like you are writing your death wish. You're making your death wish if you go and do that without, having that conversation first and being completely transparent. So that's absolutely true. Nobody was outraged about that. So now let's go back. He has even more tweets, guys. So I'm scrolling. Okay, he says, everything you see on TV is propaganda. Even if you see war, it's intentionally shown to you. Now, we know this to be true as well. These higher ups, these elitists, again, these people who place this propaganda in our faces, there's an agenda behind it. There are so many people that are running our countries that are 10 years ahead of us. I've said this in my other shows. People are so shocked and so fascinated and tuned into things that are happening. It's like it's all almost dang near an illusion. It's fake. That's why I'm so out of it. Like I really am only into this stuff for you guys to do my show and to inform you of the craziness that's happening in the world and give my opinion. But again, I'm not so fixated. My whole life isn't around this type of stuff because I know it's for show. I know it's fake. I know it's planned. And yeah, it's not something I, am swallowed up in because I know the plans. I know the all that's happening. I don't know all that's happening behind closed doors, but I know that is what's happening. So yeah, he's absolutely right on that. There's one tweet. He also says that he mentions his kids. He says he doesn't let his kids control them. They are not my parents. He says that Elon follows him. After all these tweets, sending all these tweets, I guess Elon followed him on X. So yeah, he says, I'd rather pay the price for expressing myself than to pay the price for not expressing myself. Would you rather be hated for you would you rather be hated for you are or loved for who you aren't? Now, that's a very strong statement. I think that, a lot of people are pretending, especially in Los Angeles and Hollywood. So yeah, it's like all these people in Hollywood are so fixated, set their lives around showing this certain persona, making sure they live up to this certain image. And it's like, when your life is over, it's like when you're about to die and people are going to just now know you as a memory. Do you want to be remembered as what you put on, a fake facade you put on for so long, or you want people to know who you really were? I guess a lot of people don't care. It is what it is. They feel like the facade is better. A lot of people believe the facade is better than who they really are. And, in a lot of instances, that might be the case. They might be really evil individuals, and a lot of individuals are evil in Hollywood. So there's that. But it's like, if you are a decent person, and speak your mind and speak the truth, wouldn't you want people to, admire you, remember you for doing just that? Great outlook. No backlash there. He also says that he doesn't answer to anyone. I don't have a boss and no one can tell me what to do. I give orders. I don't take advice, period. He says I would legalize sex work. Now, I actually think sex work should be legal as well. I mean, women have been doing this. Men have been participating. And men and women have been doing this for almost dang near the beginning of time. And it's just like, if they're going to do it anyway, why not legalize it? I mean, you got to make your money. Even if you don't agree with it, stepping back and taking your emotions out of it, I mean, it just makes sense to legalize it because, again, it's been a thing. People have been paying for it for forever, dang near, and why not? We all engage in it, whether you want to believe it or, well, we don't all engage in it, but it's there, and we see it, and it is what it is. You can't knock someone's hustle, man. So I actually agree with this tweet. So yeah, he says he tweets to wake the woke. Interesting. Keep going. He talks about Ben Shapiro not having real power. I think that's absolutely true. And I think a lot of that was really shown when, his two highest viewed people left his platform and now are doing way better than he has ever been doing. And they were doing even better than him on his own platform, the Daily Wire, or the platform he founded or CEO of. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. He mentions Dave Chappelle again. He says Dave Chappelle speaks for you-know-who, not the blacks. I don't know. He's alleging that he's a puppet. That might very well be true. Don't know. He says Michael Jordan's and my mom and Bill Cosby's son were murdered by these elitists he mentioned. That's interesting. I never put two and two together, but knowing how the government operates, I wouldn't put that past them. So there's that. He says that beneath Minister Louis Farrakhan, I never pronounce his name right, Farrakhan, I think that's how you say it, Farrakhan. I am the most powerful black man American that's ever existed. Why? Because Obama and Martin Luther King work for the Jews. I work for myself and I speak my mind. Now that might, who's more powerful than Kanye West? A black man that's more powerful than Kanye West. That can be very well true. There's that, and he mentions Taylor Swift also in these tweets. He said, if it's about the culture, why are we letting Taylor Swift be seen on TV singing a song about taking a black man down and accusing of things that can take a black man down for life? Kendrick is being used by these white people and Jews, and so am I, as I tweet in code words and kiss Elon's ass and beg him to not cancel my account. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know which I really don't listen to Taylor Swift's new music, and I don't recall any of her old music putting down black men. I know she's put down many white men, including Calvin Harris. I know that for sure, but that's interesting. If we are allowing Taylor Swift to do this and, propping her up and, showcasing her at the Super Bowl along with Kendrick Lamar's pro-black performance, it does beg the question, why are we allowing that to happen for our culture? So, yeah, interesting tweet. I'm going to actually go and look into that, look up the song he's specifically talking about. But as far as Kendrick being used by these white people, it's funny, he distinctly said white people in this tweet, but he also said and Jews. So interesting with the point I mentioned earlier where he was when I feel like sometimes he says white people in general, but is also calling them all Jews. The fact that he made the distinction here is interesting. So maybe he does mean Jews, all Jews, only when he's mentioned in those previous tweets and not putting white people in here because he made this distinction in this tweet. But who knows? Kanye West tweets have been all over the place. I think a lot of his tweets get lost in translation. Like, they don't translate the way they should because the way he types them is a little off. Like, even I'm struggling trying to read some of these tweets, but I get what he's trying to say most of the time. But anyway, only Kanye West can really, dissect the tweets he puts out, So there's that. Now, this is the tweet that Kanye West put out that had people in an uproar about his wife. And it starts by saying this. Let me start by saying, I have hit women before. Drake said Kendrick hit his girl, but that is not recorded on tape like the Puff video. I am in LA right now at the Four Seasons. I'm risking my life to tweet this. Now, it's so funny because this is not funny, but it's funny that I read this tweet and it was completely different from what I heard. I had watched an interview on Piers Morgan, a show on Piers Morgan where he had Myron from Fresh and Fit. He had Rabbi Shmuley and a few other people I'm not that aware of. But Rabbi Shmuley said that Kanye West said he hits women, plural, women. And I was like, and then I read this tweet and I was like, oh, he said, okay, he has hit, okay, he does say, I'm sorry, pardon me, he does say I have hit women before. Sorry. I thought he said he hit his wife, and I don't see that in here. And he was complaining about how she was such a victim and all this, and that Kanye was abusing her and all this other stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. I also heard a story where they said that at the Grammys, he was mentioning the Grammys that he made her take the coat off when she didn't want to. But other people were saying that, it was her idea to take the coat off, that he actually said, let's skip the carpet, babe. And she was like, no, I want to showcase my body. And then she was the one that turned around. So this tweet, sorry, pardon me, unless there's another video of him saying he hit his wife exactly, I don't see that in this tweet. So I was just like, it's so funny when you listen to people review things and their own opinion on things. They throw in words in there that were never said to try to prove their point and try to tear down people. And it's just like, no, he did not say he hit his wife. He has hit women. Just because he's with his wife now doesn't mean she's just automatically included in the general women he's hit. And it's just interesting that, he says he's hit women, but he's never had a domestic abuse claim by any woman. And you would think if he was actually out here really beating up women, there would be one woman that came forward and said, hey, Kanye West hit me. This guy needs to go to jail or give me my money. But that has not been a thing. And that's crazy because women file lawsuits for domestic abuse against men that didn't do anything. They were just trying to get back at them. So the fact that wasn't even a thing for Kanye, like, he must have really, really not did it to even have one complaint, even if it was a complaint that got dismissed. It's so funny how people don't look at the general, look at everything, look at situations in context. Like, in the world we live in now, there's no way somebody who abuses women all the time and to the point where they're, dang near unsafe to the point of dying, that they wouldn't report it, that a man would be able to get away with it. You can mention, like, Diddy got away with it. This was one instance with Diddy. And I know all these other women are coming forward, but there's only one we know for sure that's on video. And again, she did a good job at covering it up herself. I mean, and again, she wanted it covered up because, she wanted a career. We can say otherwise, but she knew she was nothing without him, and she chose to say. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. So yeah, I think that Myron said in the interview with Piers Morgan, he said it was dark humor. You can clearly tell he's joking. I don't know that from it. Again, only Kanye West can verify that himself. Obviously, Myron's just giving his opinion. But yeah, to say that, everybody should see it as dark humor, I don't know. I didn't see it like that. But, again, I thought immediately when I read this, if he was really hitting women the way people think he is, there would be some complaints out. So there's that. Let's see. He says he's sorry to my brother Travis Scott, I'm assuming he's referring to. I've got into it with Puff, and now I'm doing everything I can to get Puff out of jail. I always felt like if them people ever came to get me, that Travis would come to get me. Now, him trying to get him out of jail might look like he's, giving him a slap on the wrist for the things he did, which I don't know about that. Again, I don't agree with everything I think I'm reading with Kanye's tweets, but again, I try to, give people the benefit of the doubt, give some context to the situation. I don't know if he knows something we don't know. Like I don't know, they I don't know, might have, put evidence in Diddy's house, or obviously he hit Cassie with other things he was charged with. We don't know for sure, if that was a thing or not. So maybe he knows that stuff was planted. Again, it's all speculation at this point. But his last and final tweet was said that I'm logging out of Twitter. I appreciate Elon for allowing me to vent. It has been very cathartic to use the world as a sounding board. It was like an agnostic trip. Lord, look, how can I say this word, guys? Anyway, love you all. He says, love you all who gave me your energy and attention. Till we connect again. Good night. Good afternoon and good night. Okay, so that was the end of the last of the tweets on February 9th at 7:48 p.m. Now, it's Kanye has been known for years to say super quote unquote crazy things. Again, super controversial stuff. And we all thought he was crazy until he proven a lot of the things he said to be right. I mean, excuse me, so many interviews have been done. He's been sat down, and when he takes the time to explain what he meant, or to give more context to a certain tweet or give more information on a quick thing he said on TV that went viral, people start to understand. They're like, oh, okay. But the fact that, people now are saying, again, it's like he needs to be checked in the hospital. They're telling his wife to give him his medication. He's off his meds. And it's just like, I wonder if Kanye is crazy or if, he's saying a bunch of facts. Again, we don't know for sure. Again, he knows a lot more information than anybody else knows, being in the industry and being on top of the industry as much as he is. But one thing that was very interesting to me that I, hate that happened is that Kanye West lost his Shopify account. He's not able to sell his merch, all because of him trying to sell a swastika? Lord, I just looked up the meaning. Swastika shirt. And if you don't know what that is, it's like a symbol that the Nazis used back when Hitler was in power and killing off all the Jews. So, killing off millions of Jews. So, people were outraged about that. People were like, what is going on? And then he lost that deal. And it's like, dang, my boyfriend and I, we get mad when, people do stupid stuff. He was mad. He was like, I just hate when people do stupid stuff. And when Black people as high as he is, like, lose their power and influence and, again, make a stupid decision and you lost all this money for what? Like, I don't know. Again, we're all for, freedom of speech, and we're all for having, a plan, but we can't see the plan behind this. Like, it was so crazy to me that happened. But yeah, also on on Piers Morgan. They were more debating. They were mad about what he said, but it also was a debate about if people should actually have the freedom to say whatever they want. Should we actually have all these platforms that have freedom of speech to say anything, or should we draw the line with certain things? Should we draw the line with pornography? It was so interesting to watch, Piers Morgan get on Myron Gaines, that was on the show, because Myron Gaines was with freedom of speech, like anything goes. But the moment that Piers Morgan was like, oh, should pornography be around all the time, and he's like, I don't know, but it's like, oh, but you said freedom of speech. Now the debate is like, okay, is porn something completely different from freedom of speech? Should that be its own thing, or should it be included? And it's like, okay, if we're only going to draw the line at pornography, it's like, okay, well, what else are we gonna think to draw the line for? Are we gonna draw the line when it's about threats? A lot of people draw the line when it comes to any type of violence, right? But people like Kanye West clearly, appreciate freedom of speech, and even though he doesn't like what people say, he was like, it's their right. He literally posted, I didn't read the full message, but he literally posted a message about somebody threatening to kill his kids. And he was like, I don't think I don't think it should have been taken down. I think the post was taken down. He was like, I don't think it should be taken down because, they have the right to say it. But I also have the right to repost it, and so y'all can see what evil I'm dealing with. And that was another thing. It's like, you can say what you want to say, and I can choose to disagree with it, but I can also choose to knock you out if I don't like it. Like, everything has consequences to their actions, right? I shouldn't have to go to jail for you saying that you're going to kill my family and you're standing right in front of me with a gun. I shouldn't have to go to jail because I knocked you out because you said something crazy. Or even if you just said it's crazy. Like, you don't, words can be lethal. They can be deadly. So if you're going to come to me with death threats, be prepared. Be prepared. I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to defend my family. That's where Myron's coming from, and another guy that was on the Piers Morgan show. That's where the perspective was coming from. And it's crazy how people are so outraged. And I love, Myron also brought up another point. We got to get out of our feelings. Yes, yes, you can be mad about somebody saying things. But when it comes to, how you're going to act, you got to be stoic enough to not let that change you. Like you say, I'm going to be me at the end of the day. You can say like, oh, that N-word. You can say, oh, that anti-Semite. But at the end of the day, I know who I am. And I'm not going to allow your projection of who you think I am to affect my day-to-day life. And everybody should have that type of mentality. We're too in our feelings about things. We're too upset. We're too in the moment about things. And it's just like, no, you gotta step back and be like, yo, this person is trying to trigger you. They're trying to get the reaction, and you're giving them exactly what they want. I love that Myron called out this Rabbi Shmuley person because he was like, you go around saying how Jews are so oppressed, but you trigger people and then get mad at their responses to you and then want to call it anti-Semitic. It's like, you can't go to people, cause the problem, and they get mad, at the solution, at the result. When you initiated it. And so many people do that. So many people that are Jews do that. It's so funny that someone put out there, it's like anti-Semitic comments used to be when people said stuff about Jews that said that they hated Jews. But now anti-Semitism is whatever, if a Jew doesn't like you, anything you say is now anti-Semitic. So there was a lot of truth that was being said on that topic. I think that is so true. I think, Kanye West calling out Jews in these tweets, I don't think it was anti-Semitic, but I do think, putting them swastika t-shirts out where a little, he drew the line there. My personal opinion. I don't know what the benefit of that was. He also apparently put out the hoodie that Cassie was wearing when Diddy kicked her in that video that went viral. I don't get what the point was around that. Again, I don't know. Kanye West's mind must have been somewhere else, but I really can't imagine, what type of benefits he could get from doing that. He thought he could get from doing that, any short term or long term. But yeah, and even though I am a Kanye West fan, I'm not a fan of most artists, but I have been a Kanye West fan for a long time. I'm not going to stand for everything he does. It's so funny how we have these celebrity influences and we, appreciate their art, appreciate things they say. And it's like the moment they say something crazy, you're like, oh, well, you're with them. You like him, so you must believe everything he says. No, I don't believe everything he says. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything my boyfriend says. I don't agree with anything. I don't agree about anything anyone says. That would be weird. So yeah, stop condemning people for, being a stand for people, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a stand for everything they say and do. Okay. Because I'm sure you guys have celebrities that you admire that do things that you're like, I don't know about, but it's like you still listen to their music, you still go about your day, so do the same for other people. Yeah, man, I just closed in to say I don't know if Kanye West is crazy or if he has some type of plan, but I do think he needs help. And you can clearly see, I've been following Kanye for a while, and I even watched that Netflix documentary he put out, I think a few years ago. You could tell, he was more there when his mother definitely was alive, and you could tell she was a very special person, not only to him, just in general. The way she supported him, it was different than most mothers support. Like, mothers would show their love and send some money. Like, no, but she was there every step of the way throughout his career. She remembered his lyrics. She recited them back to him. That type of energy and that type of woman around, having that type of a mother's love around you really is rare and is really special. And just seeing that, you could tell, I would be devastated if I lost a person like that. And I realized how rare my life was and my mother was. It's so great that I got to move from Virginia to Los Angeles, because I realized my life is very rare. Not most people grow up with a loving mother. That my mom did almost dang near everything for me. Like, she is really everything. You don't realize a lot of people grow up without two parents. They don't sit down at a dinner table and have a conversation. I grew up with that for 30 years. Dang near almost. My parents were married for 30 years. I'm 26, so my older sister got to experience a little more of that. But yeah, my point is, when you lose that type of person and you can't fathom, you can't relate to, losing that type of person, it causes you to be a little bit more judgmental. But for me, I can relate to someone like Kanye because, again, I have a great mother, and I couldn't imagine how I would feel if I would lose her, and be in the spotlight, and also believe that she was murdered, to keep me in check. I couldn't imagine what would be going through my mind. So there's a little bit of grace there with Kanye for losing such a special person and not having even the right influences around him. There's a little bit of grace there. It's just like you really feel for him. I do think he's not fully there, but I feel like if he had the right influences, I feel like if he was even married to the right person. I don't know about this Bianca Sensory. She doesn't speak enough for me to have an opinion about her. But even after dating Kim, it's just like, I just wish he had a better spouse. Because when you have the right spouse around you, you function completely differently. Completely different. I bet you Kanye West's mom was still alive, he would have advised him not to ever marry Kim Kardashian. Anyways, that's a whole other topic. But Kanye, I just wish, I wish he gets help. I really do. I wish that, he articulates himself in a way that people can understand. I don't want him to apologize for what he believes to be true. Never that. I appreciate his authenticity. That's why I am a huge fan. He says what he says with his whole chest. Same reason why I like Trump. But be mindful There's a way to speak to people. There's a way to communicate in a way that translates a little bit better. So understand that and know that we still love you. Your fans still love you. We just want the best for you. You have the influence. It's like, and you just came out and said that you're a billionaire again, and then you lost the Spotify deal, and it's just like, dang. And we want you to win. We're rooting for you because you're black. You're a man. Don't fail us. Don't fail us. You haven't failed us yet. This was just something, I think it will blow over soon. You haven't failed us completely yet, but don't continue down this path. Because again, there's too many people rooting for you. You're too smart. You're too influential. I've seen it in person. I've seen you in person, Kanye. So I know it's there. So continue to be great. Bring back that Kanye from 2008. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, guys, like this video if you like this video. Comment always. I love to hear you guys' comments. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ves no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no es, yo no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás, y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana, mi consejo sabes que no es, te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te tengo muerto. Todo el mundo sabe que tú y yo somos